ladies and gentlemen. Leonetti!
Hi everybody, this is Mike Leonetti. What a great show we got lined up today. But before I go any further, this Tuesday coming up, my buddy Sal Santiago, he has his anniversary, and he's going to be performing at the German American Club. Man, I can't wait. And guess, I said to him, what do you want as a gift? He said, would you do me a favor? Would you cook? I said, you got to be kidding me. He said, I'd appreciate it. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Chef Mike is going to cook Tuesday for the whole gang at the German American Club. You are invited. You don't have to be a member. So we want you to come on down from 6 to 9 o'clock. And my special guest star today, believe it or not, is going to be the magnificent Mr. George Chanos. Phenomenal. He was the Attorney General here in Las Vegas, wrote a phenomenal book. What blew me away that I read it, unbelievable. That's something you're going to love. And naturally, my friend Sal Santiago. So sit back, relax, don't move. We're going to come right back. You know, I'm still cold from, you know, that ocean last week. I was on surfing. Woo, I'm still freezing. Don't move.
Go with Melissa.com, a directory of ways to help your family and business lifestyle flourish. Go with
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Leonetti Variety Show. That's right, Michael Leonetti Variety Show. I'm excited because today I got two magnificent, unbelievable guests. So I don't want you to move. Get your coffee, get your orange juice. Okay, sit down, relax, get your dish of macaroni, heat it up, and hurry up, get in front of the TV and your phone and watch what we got to say. But before we go any further, you know, you got to like, subscribe. That's a great one. Thank you very much. You got to like, subscribe, okay, and make sure that you share. Like, subscribe, or subscribe, whatever it says. And make sure you share. I love this show. Boy, I can't. What am I doing? I should be in Boca Raton or somewhere. My brother's over there laughing all the time. And I'd like to say special thanks to my buddy, my brother, who I love from the bottom of the depth of my heart, Mr. Bob Kellogg. Bobby, you watch me every week. I spoke to you today. You know, you mean more to me than you could possibly imagine. God's got his hand on your shoulder, pal. Remember something. You know, you got to be around for a long time, okay? I don't want you going nowhere because you're my pal. And I make that very known with this TV show. Because without you, this TV show would have never happened. I'd like to also special thanks to WeLink, which is a fiber optic wonderful organization that if you need faster assistance for your internet, which I wish I had in my neighborhood, you need to call because my brother's the CEO of that. And actually, Melissa, go with Melissa, Melissa.com. She's not with me today. People say, why? Where is she at right now? Well, her boyfriend loves her so much, he wanted to go to Paris. Now, he would say something about proposing. I said, could you do it prior to Friday so I can have her next to me? But he hopped in his jet, and they're somewhere in Paris, and I want to see what comes back, what kind of ring he buys her, and I have a loop. Because if it's a Zuper zirconia, I'm going to tell Melissa it's a Zook. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tease you. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, my book, Deceit, Corruption, and Cover-Up. Everybody knows I went away for a very, very long time. And I'm so proud from the bottom of my heart to tell everyone that starting June 25th, my book will go worldwide. I'll say that again, worldwide. Barnes & Noble, Book Babies, Amazon, you name it. You can get the book, and which is really great because we're tipping the $20,000 mark book sales, which is very exciting for me. And I'm happy. And let's not forget, don't forget, the special day, which would be November 8th. Okay, I'll be performing with Leah Roberts. He's the co-producer of the show that we're putting together for the Romanian church. It's Orthodox Church.
St. George.
And it's St. George Orthodox Church. It's on Jones and on... was it Jones? Jones and Charleston. I'm doing all the cooking again. It's $125 a ticket, and it's all you can eat, all you can drink. And the stars I got with me, believe it, I got Monique. Oh, Monique, she's doing a whole tribute to Connie Francis. I have the Twice as Nice, which is Shelley and Wesley. In fact, Shelley's on the Joe Cortez show. What a nice job she does. She does a great job. Well, she makes Joe look younger. Did you ever notice that? He looks about 20 years younger when he's sitting next to her. And also my buddy Sal Santiago, who's here today. He needs his 5 minutes of fame fixed. So he's on the show today because I'm doing something special with him, and we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, ladies and Gentiles, here we go, because we got two. I got two special guests. The former Attorney General of Las Vegas from 2005 to 2007, Mr. George Chanos. George, thanks for coming, buddy.
Thank you.
I said to him when I seen him, I said, Jesus God, I wish I had your hair.
Yeah.
I said, God bless him, all the hair he's got. And naturally, my brother, my best friend in the whole, we go to breakfast every morning, me and him. And when the bill comes, he becomes an astronomer. You know what I'm trying to say? He looks up. I'm going to I've been teasing Sal for a long, long time. George, thank you for coming on to the show. Well, you got a lot to say. I've never seen a guy in my entire life do what you do. Now, there's a lot of people that are watching today. They say, George Chanos, you know, they came to Vegas in maybe 2015, 16, you know, to be the Attorney General, because you were there when, you know, it was the big time.
Yeah.
That was the big time. So what were some of your experiences at that time as you were Attorney General?
Geez. So the Attorney General, so I was Nevada's Attorney General, Nevada's 31st Attorney General. Back in 2005 through 2007, what happened was Brian Sandoval, the former Attorney General, was appointed to become a federal judge, and that created a 2-year vacancy. And Kenny Gwynn appointed me to fill that 2-year vacancy. So the Attorney General oversees 175 boards and commissions. They're the chief law enforcement officer and the chief legal advisor for the state of Nevada. They oversee all district attorneys in the state of Nevada, and they advise all constitutional officers, all boards and commissions, and they oversee an office of several hundred lawyers and staff, and basically provide guidance and direction to the state about what the law requires. With regard to anything from the Gaming Control Board to the Department of Prisons to the Department of Motor Vehicles to the Pharmacy Board, whatever.
2007. Well, too bad I didn't know your name because I was inside in 2007.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. Yeah. You know, I got to tell you, doing what you do, because I said to you, or you said to me, the greatest achievement, and we got 2 more segments. We're going to touch that book.
Yeah.
Is that book.
Yeah.
Because people say to me, what was the greatest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
I told you earlier, I cooked for Sinatra, I had a hit record, I performed in Vegas. Greatest thing I've ever done was those plays, because that audience was rough.
Yeah.
To have those guys come out and look at you and say, Mike, you touched my heart.
Yeah.
And that's a great achievement.
Yeah.
But God had his hand on me. Wade had his hand on you. And I heard you were kind of Philadelphia cheesesteak guy. Is that true?
Yeah, so I'm chairman of Capriati's and Wing Zone.
Hey, how'd you like that segment? How you like the way I slid into that, Sal?
Yeah.
Are you with me, Sal, today?
Where are the sandwiches?
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I got to tell you, their sandwiches are good.
Yeah.
They're very, very good.
Yeah.
And how'd you wind up doing that? Did you go have a sandwich and say, guess what, I want to be on the board of directors?
No, it's very interesting. So I had just finished my term as Attorney General, and I was deciding what I was going to do next. I had a number of different offers. I had the opportunity to serve as in-house counsel at a publicly traded gaming company on the Strip. I had the opportunity to be a senior partner at major law firms. A lot of, you can imagine a lot of things that you could do. I had just done a big real estate deal. I had bought a piece of property for $2.5 million, and within 4 months I had it in escrow for $10 million and sold it for $10 million a year later. And so I had options. And I was asked to go to a dinner. And I was asked to evaluate these two young guys that were trying to put a deal together to buy Capriati's. And it was a 30-year-old brand at the time, and it had a lot of upside potential. It was in non-major urban markets. It was mom and pop operators. It was in C&D strip mall locations, and it was doing zero advertising, and it was doing double the average unit volume of Subway.
Wow.
And so with all those limitations, it was killing it, right? And it had raving disciples, people that would blog 4 pages long, comparing the sandwiches to the first time they had sex. So we held a wedding at the Little Chapel of the West. You could come and you could marry your sandwich. We had 200 people line up in tuxedos who went out and bought their sandwiches to marry their sandwich in front of a minister.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's the kind of people that we have that love Capriati's.
Wow.
It was voted greatest sandwich in America on AOL. And so anyway, I was invited to vet this deal, and ultimately asked to join the company as chairman of the board. And they asked me what it would take. I said, give me 24 hours, and I came back. I told them what it would take. I didn't think I was a very aggressive ask. I didn't think they'd say yes, but they said yes. And so I took a chance. And 15 years ago, I became chairman of Capriati's. I've helped it grow. I've got 2 young guys who are running the day-to-day operations. Together, we've grown the company from a $10 million company to over a $100 million company.
That's amazing. Boy, I'm telling you, I wish I can get a sandwich right now because I'm kind of hungry. Because I'm looking through the camera, and there's a lady, I don't know if you can see her, George, but she's at the edge. She's sitting at the edge like this. She said, oh, my God in heaven, is he going to talk some more? You better believe it. So, ma'am, don't move, okay? I don't know about him getting a sandwich to you, and we're going to come right back. Don't move, lady. I can see you. Don't move. For God's sake, don't move.
This is Anthony from WeLink Internet, home of the super fast fiber optic speeds. Are you paying too much for your internet? Is your service slow? Is your bill outrageous and keep going up? Well, look no further. WeLink Internet has you covered. Not only do we have super fast speeds, unbelievable customer service, but our price is usually a lot lower than anyone else. Give me a call to see if your home is available, and I will give you 30 days free to try out our service with free installation, and all the equipment will be included with no rental fees. Give me a call now to get you set up with WeLink Internet.
We're back. Boy, I'm telling you, I've been thinking about that Capriati sandwich. I don't know, boy. I mentioned them a couple of times, I think, but they might even advertise. You never know, right, Sal?
Yeah, we
Well,
also.
ladies and gentlemen, next to Mr. George Chanos, because we're going to get back, because we're going to talk about the book, but I want to give my buddy Sal with his yellow jacket. You look very handsome today, Sal. You look
Thank
very,
you, Mikey.
very
I
good.
appreciate that. You look not bad yourself.
Well, I thank you, Sal. You know, it comes with age, you know what I'm trying to say to you. I appreciate that. This Sunday, this Tuesday.
By the way, congratulations on the book going national and all that.
Thank you.
That is a
I'm
very
glad
big
with that.
accomplishment. A lot of people have been asking about how they can get your book. Now
Yeah.
they can get it everywhere.
Yeah, well, people were calling me. We were shipping it out, you know. But I've been very, very lucky. You know, God has his way of working things. You know, and like I said, we had so many wonderful people on. But I got to tell you, Tuesday is a big night for you, right, Sal?
Sure is.
You want to tell me what the hell's happening Tuesday?
Well, Tuesday is going to be our 12th year anniversary, my wife and I being married.
And
We're going to celebrate at the German American Club. As you know, I perform there a couple times a month.
Right.
You know, and you've been so gracious and generously to actually to offer to do the cooking for the night. You know, I don't know how in the heck we figured that out. How did you come up with that? But we're so grateful that you did that.
Oh, my pleasure.
And you know, we called the club, and they are so. They can't get over it, you know. To see, oh my God, Chef Mike's gonna be here doing the cooking and stuff. Yeah, you know, because you did that once before.
I did,
and it went so well, you know. And it was just everybody was just like, well, in awe, you know.
Have you ever been to the German American Club, George?
I have not.
It's a ball. You think you're in Germany, you know what I mean? And it's a not a private. It's a private
non-profit.
Yes,
it's a non-profit club. Yeah.
And Sal sings there on Tuesdays, and he sings on Saturdays.
But it's open to guests, you know.
It's open to the guests. So, you know, and they do some nice food. So I said, Sal, what do you want for your anniversary? He said, I don't want nothing. I said, would you like me to come in and cook for everybody? And he said, no, you won't do that, would you? I said, would you like me to come down to the German American Club and cook for everybody? I says, well, make sure you get the approval. I mean, you know, I just don't want to walk in somebody's kitchen, you know, start using it. Right. And we went out last night.
They were there, yeah.
And he got the call last night.
Right. They said, "My gosh, we are honored. You bet. You know, like, they couldn't say enough. You know, they couldn't make it enough. You know, for you to do that for us. And that's going to be this Tuesday, January 3rd, and it's going to be from 6 to 9 o'clock.
6 to 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is there a number they can call? They can call you.
They can call me. I would appreciate it. They can call me, so we can prepare to see how many people are going to be there, so you know how much to cook. And
exactly.
You can call me at 702-278-1550.
Say that again, Sal. A little slower, buddy.
702-278-1550.
3 a.m. Call 3 a.m. He loves that.
In the morning?
No. No, Anthony, I don't think so.
You don't
get
think
my
so?
voice. You get my voicemail. Yeah, leave a message. I don't care.
So he said, what are you going to cook? Well, I did when I did the thing for Leah Roberts. I made chicken Neapolitan, and it was one of on my menu at the restaurant. And I would tell people, if you can't pull that bone out with your finger, I will pay for everybody's dinner. I mean, when I say melting in your mouth like Holy Communion, I mean, well, unless you're Jewish, then it doesn't count. But the chicken was out of this world. So I want to do that. I want to do you want the rigatonis or you want ziti?
Whatever you want to.
I think the rigatonis with I want to make sure everybody's happy. Rigatoni with little marinara sauce, garlic bread.
Right.
I make a Neapolitan salad.
Oh,
are you going to bring the cake? Are you bringing the
I'm bringing the cake.
You're going to bring the cake in? All right, we're going to have some fun. Yeah. But you got to do me a favor. If you love me like a brother, don't go making no announcements. I want to just thank my chef, Mike. I did this from my heart. I don't need that.
You're not going to sing a song?
Nope, I ain't singing. I'm just going to cook. I'm going to enjoy myself. And I'm going to run out through the back door, Sal.
No, you're not. I'm going to make sure it's closed.
What's that? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, we went to see Damien at the Composer's Room.
Yeah, they told me you did that. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, I took my lawyer, Michael Sapp. We went for lunch over there. George, I know you've been talking about the sandwiches, but I want you to listen to me because I'm very critical on this show. There's so many people I want on here, and there's people that Donnie get on, I won't bring them on because I know what I want. They got a cheeseburger down there, I swear to God, on my mother's grave. It was this big, that thick. It was out of this world. And then Damien was so gracious. He said, Mike, try the ravioli. He came out with a ravioli for me. He says, try with the portobello, with the mushrooms. Try my sauce. Try this, try that. He was making me taste what the chef did. And I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been to the Composer's Room, you need to go down there because they got great acts. Great acts they got. They have 9 machines at the bar, which they're so loose, it's incredible. I mean, I put a quarter in and made $30,000. That's how loose they are. Damon's saying, no, don't say that. He's going to say And with Tony Scro, because that's Tony is one of the top. Tony's big.
He performs there on Wednesday night.
He performs there on Wednesday night with his band. It's great. Have you been to the Composer's Room, George? You'd have a ball.
Where is it at? Yeah. It's on the Commercial Center.
Commercial Center.
On Sahara.
Okay. On Sahara.
Okay.
You know, and they put some big money. These guys put some big bucks in there. Let me tell you something. And they're known for their pea soup. I joke about it, but it's very good because I had some. My lawyer had it. He enjoyed it. And so, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, and let's not forget Carmine.
Oh, at Piero's.
At Piero's. We went to Piero's last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They gave me the bill. I thought I broke a window. I couldn't believe it. But they had the fish, and I had the sea bass.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. The sea bass, out of this world. Yeah. And Carmine, if you like old Las Vegas, because all the time, people ask me, Mike, who do you listen to? Sinatra? I listen to Carmine. I put his album on, and nobody does Fly Me to the Moon like him. So if you want to have a great time on Friday and Saturday, make sure you go see Carmine and at Piero's. Back to George. George, let me ask you a question, buddy. We're going to talk about this book. Tell me about it, because I'm excited about reading it.
Yeah, so Millennial Samurai, A Mindset for the 21st Century, is essentially a guidebook on what you need to know to survive and thrive in the 21st century. So there's a tremendous amount of change that's occurring, right? Let me give you an example. In 2014, theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking said that the singularity, that moment in time when machine intelligence would eclipse human intelligence, would be the greatest event in human history, greater than fire, greater than the wheel, greater than anything we've ever experienced. Ray Kurzweil, the head of artificial intelligence for Google, says that that moment in time, the singularity, will come as early as 2029. That's 4 years away. So you've essentially, the media does not tell you about what's happening in the world today, but we're in for some seismic, tectonic change that's going to unfold over the next 5 years, let alone the next 10 to 15 years. So Kurzweil says, he goes on to say, that we'll reach the singularity by 2029, which means we're in a race. We're in a race with the Chinese, with Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Finland, various countries that are pursuing AI to cross the finish line first. Putin in 2017 said he who controls artificial intelligence will control the world because they'll be able to subjugate all other governments. They'll be able to turn off your electricity, turn off your satellites, turn off your financial systems. So we're in a race towards the singularity, which means that it's going to be a very bumpy ride between now and the next 5 years, which is why you're seeing the war in Ukraine, which is why you're seeing what's happening in Gaza, which is why you're seeing what's happening in India and Pakistan. You're going to see a lot of disruption. Millennial Samurai is designed to tell you what's happening, tell you what you need to know to prepare, to survive and thrive in that tumultuous climate that we're about to experience. I wrote that book and published it in 2019, which is way before anybody was talking about this. It's 444 pages, but it's divided into 182 chapters that are only 1 to 3 pages each for the short attention span reader. So you can open it anywhere, read 1 to 3 pages, learn something new that will help you survive and thrive. It begins with ancient core values: character, courage, commitment, compassion, all the things you need to know, the building blocks of a foundational life, right? And it goes on to tell you about asteroid mining, longevity escape velocity, 3D printing, the Internet of Things, cloud computing, how these technologies are going to change the world that we live in. Blockchain, Bitcoin. I was at the Blockchain Bitcoin 2025 convention just this last week, and I was listening to Eric Trump talk about it. I was listening to Donald Trump Jr. talk about it. Michael Saylor, Vice President Vance was there. That's a whole different discussion about how that's evolving, how currency and the economies are changing around the world.
Well, George, I want you to hold that thought, because I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we got one more segment, and he's got a little bit more to say. Don't you move. Don't you touch that dial. I'm telling you right now, this is some serious stuff. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Oh, boy, I got to tell you, listen, this book, unbelievable, interesting. Just a little bit what he just was talking about. Boy, it's got my... And you can see what's going on. Like I said to you, we had so many wonderful people that are on the show. This is a variety show. That's what a variety show is about. See, it's like with Joe Rogan. When you get guys like George Chanos and guys like all these different people that I bring on the show, Wayne Allen Root, they got so much to say. The nice thing about this is tell everybody where they can get this book.
Sure. So they can go on Amazon.com. And it's available in paperback on Amazon.com. It's $29. And there's nothing that you will get, either for yourself or for your children, that will have greater value, a greater return on investment than this book, in my view.
You know, I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a show like this, you know, and bringing wonderful guests on the show, it's informative. You know what I mean? I'm not a political guy that I can go toe-to-toe. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't go step in the ring with a heavyweight because you're going to get knocked out on the first round. But when you get a guy like George Chanos, what's beautiful about this man is that bringing him on the show gives an opportunity for my viewer to look at him, look at what he has to say, having Wayne Allen Root, listen to what he has to say, which is really, really nice. Because what this show is, it's reality. You know what I mean? I don't sugarcoat anything. You know, there's a lot of sponsors, people that want to come on the show. Kellogg's, that's all I need is Kellogg's. You know what I mean? WeLink, my co-host, wonderful people. I don't mind bringing these people on because it's credibility. It's most important is credibility. And I always said, and I said this on my show the last time, I said to my mother before she died, my generation will see the coming of Christ. Because what's happening right now is very, very bad, what's happening in the world today. And Mr. Chanos, what you said is incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me when I'm telling you. Take it from Mike Leonetti. Get this book, read that book, understand what tomorrow's bringing, because we're only a few years, not generations away, a few years away of what is going on this world today. You know, and I'm going to tell you something. You know, without guys like George Chanos and a handful of other guys that are out there trying to make a difference to explain to the people what you need to do, what you be prepared for. Because I said it last week. I said Sodom and Gomorrah. They got up that morning and they went out. They were partying. They didn't realize they want to be wiped out. They didn't realize they want to be wiped out that day. So, you know, you got to stay focused with God, because I don't know what your spirituality is, Mr. Chanos, but I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Christ. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because what I've done, God had his hand on me all them years, you know, to do, and he gave me my empire back, you know, and gave me a show. And to be 73 years old and to still have the power, a knockout punch in either hand at my age, and still have the voice and the energy, and it's God-given. And if you don't think that is, you're sadly mistaken. Well, you know, Sal, I can't wait till Tuesday.
I hope so.
I'm not giving you a present. I'm cooking for you, so don't ask for a gift, because that's out. No, I'm only teasing you. So, like I said, you want to have a good time, come to the German American Club this Tuesday. I'll be cooking. Sal's going to be performing.
And make sure that you call me, please. For
make sure you call, because we're booking for about 60.
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to cook for about 60, and I think there'll be a little bit more than that. But if you want to come in, have a great time, please do. Mr. Chanos, from the bottom of my heart, buddy, no words to say thank you. I still wish to God I had your hair. You know, he's laughing. Did you have a good time on the show?
Yeah, it's great.
Did you expect anything like this?
You know, I didn't know what to expect, but it was great.
And that's what it's all about. I'd like to thank my brother, Anthony. I love you with all my heart. My sister-in-law, Tanya. After we all love you. I know you're going on a cruise, and I want you to have a great time. And to my lovely wife, Laura, who I love with all my heart and soul. I can't wait to come home to see you. And I say this all the time, ladies and gentlemen. I said, if I had Aladdin's lamp and I had one wish to make, I would not wish for caviar or any special dish. I would not wish for dollars. Yet in dollars I have few. I'd wish to come to a studio, bring wonderful people like George Chanos and Sal Santiago to people like you. Because by people watching this program, it's informative, it's uplifting, and it's spiritual. But remember this, ladies and gentlemen, when you feel down and out and you think that, you know, it's all over, look above a cloud. I promise you, put your faith in God, put your faith in Jesus Christ, He'll never let you down. He'll always come through for you. Next week, we got a whole new show, and my co-host will be back, Melissa, from Paris, and I hope you bring me a nice gift. Thanks, everybody, for being so wonderful. I'll see you next week, because I'm going to go for a capriati sandwich right now. And Mr. Chanos is picking up the tab. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao, Mike Leonetti Variety Show fans. For everything Leonetti, go to the website MikeLeonettiVarietyShow.com. Looking to have your business or client as a guest on the show? See if you are qualified to become a brand partner on the Mike Leonetti Variety Show by going to the site today. That's MikeLeonettiVarietyShow.com. Don't forget to order his book, Deceit, Corruption Cover-Up. Ciao for now.